So whether the team is a sports team, a volunteer club, or indeed in your company, we need people who have different skills and capabilities. So thinking about an entrepreneurial team, we absolutely need a variety of skills and experience and perspectives. If I relate that back to Microsoft, we've got an absolute focus on two things. One is inclusion and diversity as a philosophy, that not just about gender diversity or race or whatever it happens to be, but diversity in ideas, diversity in opinions, and having that culture that supports people who've got different ideas, that you can throw those wild, wacky ideas out there and not be shut down. And say, okay, let's park that, that's interesting, let's see what we can do. And we're trying really hard to shift our culture from being one that says, oh no, that's crazy, you can't do that, to that's really interesting, I hadn't thought of that. And we need the people who'll stand up and have those ideas. Commitment and relentlessness, and also some diversity. They're probably the main things. In a tech startup, which tends to be a lot of them, you've got to have a tech person on board. I've seen startups without tech people on board, and I think it's a real disadvantage. I'm sure it can be done, but I think the majority of teams will have a tech person, and I would definitely prefer a team of at least 2 and maybe up to 4 or 5 depending on their relationship. Definitely also, if they've failed at doing it before, I would think that would actually help, because there's lots of pitfalls that you can make, and if there's one less that they can take, and that's one less risk that you're taking on as an investor.
I think a successful team for me is one where you have a group of people who have got comfort working with each other, comfort to exchange ideas, comfort to work within that cell of people to bounce their ideas around, some respect for each other as well, so that they can communicate freely and openly, where the environment is one of support, so that any idea is a good idea. But at the end of the day, there's somebody who's a leader of that team who's trying to guide that process of riffing on ideas and bring it all to some kind of outcome. So I think the successful teams that I've seen have been ones where you've got a clearly enunciated hierarchy where somebody is in charge, but that person enables the people that are working with them directly or indirectly to contribute their ideas, to feed into the process of developing and improving on the ideas, but where the people who are doing that feeding in of ideas understand that at the end of the day, that person who is in the lead of that role is the person who's got their ass on the line for the success or failure of that idea. So they may or may not take on board the feedback that's come from people. But I think an open environment of communication where it's easy to feed ideas into the mix, but where people respect that at the end of the day, somebody is going to have to make a decision, and we'll let that happen.
A passionate team and a powerful team will transcend even a not so great opportunity. They'll pivot and do new things. Whereas a less passionate, less complete team will basically fail at the first hurdle.